But we don't have the means, but we can listen, yeah. Things that we sharpen our vision, yeah. Oh, yeah. Negativity getting out the way. By listening to us that we bring life, yeah. Plus it's like the voice of an angel, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. That burning like giving joy to the helpless. We sit and bringing life to the dream. That's all we are rooted and savvy. And she's so, yeah. Transforming one life at a time. With the best voice that you Dr. OJ, keep on speaking for us. You're the voice you want to hear. You have the positivity. Dr. OJ, keep on speaking for us. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. Ooh, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. OJ is speaking for us.
All right. Welcome. Yes, I'm about to join the stream right now. Hey, and there I am. Yes, welcome back to Dr. OJ Speaks. Welcome to Wednesday Lives with Dr. OJ. Super excited to be back here today on this amazing Wednesday evening, God's good earth. This is the day the Lord has made. Honestly, I am rejoicing and I am so glad in it. However, do I have so many reasons not to rejoice and be glad? I probably do. Yes, I do, just like every one of you out there. But I have a word for you today. So, the word I have for you today, and today we're talking about intentional living. Intentional living into your purpose. That's what the title of this week's episode is about. And I have a guest with me in the studio today who is very, very intentional about every single thing she set out to do. And we're going to bring her in the studio, but let me share this with you guys. So, when we talk about intentional living, I have one question for you. Are you living the life that you know that you were created to live? Or are you doing the things that you are here to do? So we are all on an assignment. Just let that question resonate in your mind while I get started. And I want you to think about it. Drop it in the comments or DM me later and we can talk more about it. But let's talk about it right now. Are you intentional about the life that you have been given? Every day we wake up, every day the clock strikes 12. Some of us are asleep, a lot of us are awake, whatever is happening when the clock strikes 12. And you still have breath in your lungs. God deposits another 24 hours to say, okay, there you go. You get to live another day. And I remember what I'm saying. I'm saying you get to. It's not that you have to, it's not that you must. You get to live another day. So he gives us the opportunity to live every single day because he has an assignment on your life. When we hear about people who suddenly have passed on, who suddenly no longer are here with us, or we wake up and we hear the sad news of, oh, this person suddenly dropped dead, and you're like, what happened? They were so healthy. Oh, wow, we didn't know this was going on, and all that and all that. Honestly, sometimes it's just the fact that their time was up. Or it's just the fact that the enemy was able to get into their space and take them out before their time. But whatever the reason is, for those of us who have the good fortune of getting that 24 hours deposited in our banks every single day, what's up, Nickel Swab? How are you, sir? We have to be very grateful and take advantage of it. And that is why on this Wednesday, I want to talk about intentional living towards becoming the person you are created to become. You have to be intentional about everything. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has something unique that God has given them while they were coming here. So people tell me, I don't know what my gifts are. That's fine. Sometimes it takes a while. Look, let me tell you this. When I was a baby, my mother told me that out of all the children that were born in the family, I was one child that spoke earliest. And I just haven't stopped talking since then. And when I was a little girl, she's like, when they give birth to some babies, when babies are born and some babies just don't speak early, maybe they have just, I don't know, maybe personality or developmental issues, that what they would say is, take her to Oyinkan's house, that's Dr. O's house, and let them spend time with her, that is me. And if they spend time with me, given the fact that I was known for jabba, 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 they would eventually pick that up through social interaction. So it was more like I became the neighborhood nurturing child to help nurture other people's children to talking. And I was like, what? And then, of course, as I grew older, my mom said, this talking got me in a lot of trouble. It got me in a lot of trouble. And at the time, I guess they didn't understand it because, when we look at our parents the way we were raised back then, I don't think they fully had the discernment of spirit to understand what it means for a child to have a gift. Growing up in Africa, all they knew was you're going to grow up, you're going to go to school, you become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, something in that professional line. You're going to work, you're going to get a retirement, and then you're going to, live the way we're all told. I don't know. But that was how I was raised. In Africa, it was very intentional. African parents are very, very intentional about their children. You go to school, you get a bachelor's degree, you get a master's degree, and then if they want to push it over the edge, you get a PhD. Well, I'm the only PhD holder in my family. So I guess I decided to help them push it over a little bit further than they really intended to. for which they are very proud of. But out of all of those achievements, out of all the skills that I acquired, I tell you that by age 38, 39, I had gotten to the point where I realized, what am I really doing with my life? What is this thing that I'm trying to do? I'm trying to do all of these things. Things just stopped making sense to me. And then I decided that I needed to figure out what it was that I was really called to do. And sometimes it takes life knocking you down. Like it really took life knocking me to the bottom of the barrel. I was in a really low place. And that was when I started to ask the right questions. Sometimes God will allow certain things in your life because He wants to get your attention. And when He gets your attention, He will now begin to direct you. And then that is when you begin to realize, rather than saying, why? Why is this happening? What is happening to me? You start asking the right questions. What am I supposed to be doing? Those are some critical questions that you can start asking when you get to the end of yourself. When you get to a point where you feel, I've done everything I know to do. I have done everything I absolutely know to do. But then you can stop and say, what else is there? Or what is this situation trying to teach me? Is there something I need to learn that is going to propel me into the next season of my life that I really have not learned? Like I said, everybody, thank you so much for joining on all social media platforms. Tonight, I am omnipresent by the grace of God. But unfortunately, because this is a program that is set up for production, I'm not able to acknowledge everybody as they join the broadcast. So please bear with me. But I definitely will make it a point to acknowledge you all at the end of the show. And I'm trying to go through this first half of the show so that I can bring my guest in, because my guest is definitely very intentional about a topic or a subject that I am personally passionate about. And that is why I said one of the things that I have set my heart to do when I started all of this talk show and public speaking and everything, very intentional about building the brand, it was to create a platform that allowed me to have conversations with people who really had a message for other people, to give the platform to people who were here to serve, in order to help tell authentic stories of people who otherwise might not have the opportunity to have their stories told. And that is what Dr. OJ Speaks has done. So one of the things that I posted today on social media is, don't look around you, because you will see so many people doing so many things. These are some of the things that stops us from really fulfilling our purpose and becoming intentional about ourselves. When you're looking around, looking to the left, to the right, you're seeing what everyone is doing, and they seem to be doing well. You will become so impressed by what they're doing, you will feel like your life is not worth much, and you begin to look down on yourself. So what happens when you begin to look down on yourself? You begin to diminish the gift of God on your life, and you begin to wish, you envy, you're jealous of what somebody else has, that really at the end of the day, even if they gave it to you, it won't do anything for you. That's the truth. If I gave you my gift of gab and I said, here, take my gift of gab, could you deliver like I will deliver? Honestly, I know for a fact that you could not. Ain't nobody do Dr. OJ like Dr. OJ do Dr. OJ, okay? I'm just saying. So you have to understand that each and every one of us has a purpose. So don't look around. Don't get impressed by what other people are doing. It's good to appreciate and celebrate others, but don't let your focus be too tight or too set on those things. And another thing you don't need to do is look down on yourself. Don't look down, because you'll get depressed. Like I said at the beginning of the show, do I have so many reasons today to say, you know what? I don't really feel like doing this show. Oh, and did I feel like that at 5 p.m.? Because I have had that kind of day. You better believe it. But when I remember the assignment on my life, I said, child, you better get yourself off this bed, dust your face, you put some powder and get that oiliness off your face and go set that camera, because God has an assignment for you. And it doesn't matter how you feel, my emotions, my opinion about it, it don't matter. I have taken on this task to use my gifts for service. So however I feel, it's inconsequential. I got to show up, because I'm not showing up for myself. I'm showing up for the person who sent me. So don't look down on yourself. You have to keep your head up all the time. Keep your head up and keep looking to God. He has something for you. And if you haven't discovered what that something is, trust me, it's there and He will give it to you. You just probably haven't gotten to your threshold. You probably haven't gotten to the point where He has gotten enough of your attention. So maybe you need to start just being a little bit more quiet in your spirit so you can begin to receive the assignment. Because for all the skills that we can acquire, look, I have a PhD, for crying out loud. But the things that I know that I am called to do, to serve with on this earth, it honestly, I won't say it has nothing to do with my PhD, because it does. Because the PhD gives me the credentials that allows me to do it in a way that allows people to pay attention to me. Yes, it has opened a lot of doors for me. So don't let me undermine it, because everything that God allows you to do in this life is all coming together. Eventually, it will come full circle, and then you get to see, oh, I learned this skill in 2010. Oh, I learned this skill. Oh, I did that job. Oh, I volunteered here. Oh my God, I helped that person. Oh my goodness. And then when everything comes together, full circle, because God is such an intentional God. Oh, He is so intentional. And that is why tonight's message is about intentional living towards becoming the person you are created to be and to do on this earth. He is very intentional. He takes every single thing and He uses it. He said, all things work together for good. Every single experience, either for good, either bad, either horrible. You hear stories of people who were raped, who were molested, who were kidnapped, who were involved in sex trafficking, who have been through some of the most horrible things that a human being could ever go through. And then you hear the stories and you see the things that their lives begin to do. You see the impact that they make, and you're wondering, how is it possible? Because it is possible, because those things that happened to them did not happen to them. It happened for them because there was an assignment on their lives. Unfortunately, they had to go through that path, but that assignment had to happen through that experience. So don't ever discount your experiences in this life. Before we move on, let me just finish up with this. Martin Luther King said something. He said, not everybody can be famous. Not everybody can be rich. That's just a fact. Not everybody's going to be wealthy. Those are facts that we know. That's why we have the 10%. Now we have the 1%. And then we have the 90%. Then we have the 99%. So those percentages tells you that the wealth of the world would always circulate in certain circles. Until you learn the principles of building wealth, you're probably going to keep, running around circles. But that's another episode. I'm not going to the principle of wealth building today. But I'm just saying to say, not everybody can be famous. Not everybody can be rich. Not everybody can be wealthy. But every single human being, billions of us, can be great. That's what Martin Luther King said. Everyone can be great, because greatness is not a measure of what you have. It is a measure of the service that you offer to humanity. It is how you present yourself in the world, and you serve with the gifts that you've been given. So the more you present yourself, the more you serve the world with your gifts, the more you present your gifts every day. That is what will determine the level of greatness that you attain in life. You see a lot of people on this earth, they might not have any type of accolades, but I promise you, probably when they get to heaven, they have a huge mansion waiting for them. They have crowns that are adorned with so many things, so many gems and crystals and, precious stones and things that God has prepared for them, because their sacrifice on this earth has been so great. We might not see it. It doesn't mean, just because man does not acknowledge you, just because people don't see your greatness, it does not diminish the greatness that you are. There is greatness on the inside of you. As one of my mentors will say, I see greatness within you, Les Brown. There's greatness on the inside of you. I love that, man. Every single one of us has greatness on the inside of us. And every single one of us has the potential to be great. So today, I want to just admonish you on this Wednesday. Figure out a way to start expressing your greatness, because it's there. Stop letting it lie dormant and wasteful. When I started this show, I didn't have a production like this. I started with a phone doing Instagram lives about almost 2 years ago. And I knew for a fact that God had put this in my heart. that this was a platform that God had given me to express and share my gifts with the world. So whenever I meet people, I'm like, can I tell your story? Can I share what you're doing? Because I'm called to serve. That's what this is about. So I'm serving with my zone of genius. What are you doing with your gifts? I have figured out what the king of my gifts is. By the way, that's the title of my second book. Y'all go check it out on Amazon and purchase a copy, because the story is really inspiring and get you moving to discovering your gifts right away. So you need to discover what the king of your gifts is, so you can begin to serve the world with your gifts. A king is called to serve, and we are called to rule and reign in this life, not living like peasants. Even though we think we're peasants, but we are not peasants. We are royalty. That is who we are. Each and every one of us, children of the Most High God. No matter your spiritual, your religious persuasion, I don't care about that. That's not what we're here to talk about tonight. We're here to talk about children of God. Every single one of us. We are royalty. And royalty serves the kingdom. A king does not sit on his throne while his kingdom perishes, or while his people are languishing. He will get up and serve, go to battle and make decree and take dominion, so that his people will have a time of abundance and everything. And that is how you know the value of a good king, of a king that is ruling and reigning. And that is how he gets the allegiance of his people. So you need to start ruling and reigning with your gifts, because you are made to rule and reign in this life with the king of your gifts. Guys, I hope I have managed to somewhat encourage you tonight to begin to think more intentionally about what you're called to do with who you were created to be on this earth. Guys, I will be right back, because my guest tonight, y'all, I told you I got something for you. My guest tonight is going to bring the fire, the heat, and we're going to be talking about what she is intentional about in this season. Guys, just stay tuned, and I will be right back to bring you guys this wonderful woman. And before she comes on, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back, y'all. Hang tight. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Dr. Ohikosola Jinadu. I'm a beauty professional, med spa operator, franchise owner, and director of education at HD Pro Global Beauty Institute and Body Med Spa. As a mother of 3 boys and immigrant business owner, it's important for me to have a steady and sustainable source of income that transcends economic, government, or public health uncertainties and instability like the global pandemic we are still recovering from. That is why HD Pro Global has created multiple systems that allows my team and I to train, educate, certify, and establish independent med spa operators like us all over the globe. For more information, check out our website to attend a free webinar to get started on your path to continuous success, no matter what is going on in your part of the world. I cannot wait to meet you. Thank you. Wow. Welcome, Dr. Benita Reed. Let me do a quick introduction of this woman, because we can't just bring her into the studio just like that, because she ain't just like that type of person. She is special. Who is Dr. Benita Reed? She is an advocate for all students. So guess what, guys? All I had to hear was students, school district, and I'm like, I am there, because I'm a teacher. Still a teacher, a mother of 3 amazing boys, and I want them to have the best education ever. Over 30 years in education, ma'am, I respect your service. You have been in this game longer than I have. Current TCC professor of English language, former public school teacher, former administrator, servant leader in Koinonia, no strings attached. I don't even know what that is. I want to dive into that one. I have no political agenda, she says. I am a unifier and not a divider. Yes, we need more unification, especially in the world that we are living in. So, guys, please join me as we welcome to the studio tonight with Dr. OJ, Dr. Benita Reed.
Woo, Dr. OJ, I am fired up from your sermon. You have preached to my soul today. I continue to hear that message over and over through this process. I mean, the last month and a half, I've heard that same message, not the exact way. So I know that God is speaking to me. He's speaking to me through you today, and you have preached my soul happy today. Thank
Oh,
you. I'm honored to be here. As I've told you before, I'm grateful for our meeting. It was truly divine. And I know that I'm purposed to be here with you and to have a kingdom connection, not just for this occasion, but for occasions for a lifetime. I do believe that, especially
yes.
after hearing your message this evening.
Oh, wow. Thank you, ma'am. I really am honored and privileged to be in your presence and just have your company tonight. Tonight's show is really just very laid back and chill. But, we need to talk about the serious issues while we're being chill and relaxed as well. We need
Yeah.
to be able to bring the truth, drive it home in love, and just keep it moving. That's my philosophy, and that's what I believe. I always speak from the heart. I always speak based on what God lays on my heart in that season for his people. And I know that God makes no mistakes. So, Dr. Benita Reed, tell us
Yes.
about why you're here tonight, because I know there is an important the next couple of days are pretty critical for you, and they, Dr.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes, the next few days, actually the next week and a half are very critical for me, but I would say for those of us who are in the Mansfield ISD area,
Mhm.
we are grateful to be in a runoff. And that means that we had it there that my opponent and I did not, neither one of us earned or scored 50% plus one vote, which means we're in a runoff. Now, what does that mean for me and what does that mean for MISD? That means we have an opportunity to make the choice that will serve our students, our parents, and our educators at large very well. And as you stated in the introduction, you were so gracious in my introduction. Thank you. But as you stated, I've been on the front lines of education for over 30 years. And I'm honored to say that I've done it that long. I like to tease people and say I started when I was 5, but that's not the case.
Well, you
Nonetheless,
look like that. You
thank
look
you.
like that.
Thank you. I am grateful that I've had the opportunity to sit at the feet of some of the greatest persons who were also serving the kingdom and kingdom minded working in education. I worked for Dr. Patricia Williams at Texas Southern University, who was a strong Christian woman, strong in her faith. She's now a certified preacher at Willa Avenue. So I had that honor as an administrator, and she was a mentor to me. So when you speak about living your purpose, I had no idea I'd be running for school board in 2022. But having had the experience with Dr. Williams, Dr. Cox, and other professors there, and then moving here, I never wanted to live in the Dallas Fort Worth area because my cousins lived here, and I thought, oh, you all are too slow. Houston is faster. No, God had different plans. So when I moved here in
Yes.
'98, I've been here ever since. This is my home. I call Dallas Fort Worth, I call MISD my home. I'm happy to be here. And when I moved here, I started teaching 8th grade English language arts. And so all of these things, as you were talking, preaching, really, as you were preaching, I was thinking about how God was putting all the puzzles together,
Hmm.
and I was meeting certain people and they were imparting certain things in my lives, not just kingdom principles and wisdom, but principles that we have to stand on in education. Like you have to have fortitude. You have to have the ability to do some research, stay up late at night. You have to
Hmm.
have now I don't know if I have the gift of gab, but I do advocate, and I am very serious about advocating for our students and our
Man,
educators.
you have the gift of gab like no other. Like, damn, ma'am. Yes, your gab is strong. Your gab game is strong.
Thank you, Dr. OJ. I mean, it's coming from you. That's a compliment. And I appreciate that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So when you were talking, those pieces to the puzzles, I could see them very clearly how God just placed me in certain places with certain people and having the opportunity to do certain things. I mean, you're right. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I said this to my prayer partner. I am where I'm supposed to be. Now, it's not easy. I don't want anyone to believe that this is easy. This walk, these last 3-4 months have not been easy at all, and they seem to get a little bit more difficult. However, when you are purposed for a thing, you
Mhm.
have the fortitude, you have the strength, you have the energy,
Yes.
because God within you gives you all that you need. And then he
Yes.
places people so strategically around you
Mhm.
that you are empowered by them even when you are discouraged. So when I'm discouraged, my husband encourages me. My
Amen.
daughter encourages me. My campaign manager encourages me. Many of my sisters and friends encourage. When I met you, I was greatly encouraged. You have a power, sister, that is unparalleled. Seriously, it was truly divine, because I just said, "Oh, look, here I am right here." Remember in the magazine, in the Mansfield Now magazine, you said,
Yeah.
"That's you," and I thought. Then I kind of followed you outside the
Uh-huh.
doctor's office. So some people might say that was a little stalkerish, but I knew that you
No.
had an appointed time at
Yes.
the doctor's office, and I needed to speak with you. I didn't know this would come of it, but I'm honored to be here, as I said before.
And you know that at the doctor's office, I didn't even end up doing what I went there to do. But I was like, oh, well, I was just going to leave. I was just on my way. But you know, that the reality of the matter is, God says that, one thing I know, that our steps are ordered of God. We are
Yes,
always at the right place at the right time for the right things. Sometimes
yes,
we're going somewhere, we think we're there for something else. But because God has an assignment for us, and we have learned over time to be obedient children to Him, He'll keep placing those opportunities our way. Like I said, everyone has the opportunity to serve. One way or another, we
that's
have
right.
the opportunity to serve.
That's right.
So now we are in the run of elections, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your platform for MISD? Because I recently just moved to this district, and I moved here with such high expectations. Such
Great, great.
high expectations. Did my research and everything.
Yeah,
Educated with dollar signs there. I was like, Mansfield is second in the state of Texas. It's one
yeah,
of the best districts in the state of Texas.
that's
Next
correct.
to what's it called? Salt Lake is it's Mansfield. I mean, they have all the programs. They have sports. They have arts. They have everything. The
That's
kids, they have all over 90% graduation rates, school kids going to colleges. I mean, so the numbers, the data was very, very encouraging. So
yes.
now, with that being said, now that you are in the runoff, what is really your platform? What is there to improve upon in Mansfield? Or is there something we are not aware of that you want to make known to us?
Yes, there are some things that we can improve on. I would say, I know you said it's second in state. We're going to say it's second to none, especially on June 18th,
I'll take
when
that.
we named Dr. Benita Reed the school board trustee for Place 3. And I say that humbly, because I know it is a position where you serve. And and your philosophy of being appointed by God is that we have to serve well, because
Mhm.
we're serving our great King. So what do we need to improve on? My platform is excellence for all children. And that simply means that we have students who are in our population who are not all GT students or honor students, but they all have the gifts that are necessary for them to be successful and
They
to
do.
thrive. That simply means we have students who are special education, 504, general education, as well as GT and honor students.
Mhm.
I want to make sure that we merge those gaps of success rates. Right now, it's imbalanced. It also demonstrates that it's imbalanced in our test scores. They were dropping before the pandemic, but the pandemic did not help. So what I like to say is, let's close those gaps so that we can continue to assist our students and our educators with the resources that they need, so that our students are prepared. Now, one of the things that I would like to say, and aside to excellence for all children, is this theme. We need to make certain that we continue to have competitive salaries for our teachers. Why is that? If we have competitive salaries, our teachers stay here. They're more stable. Our students are more stable. And then we continue to succeed all populations at
Mhm.
a consistent rate. Not one population is excelling much greater than the other. My second platform is readiness. That's college, career, life, and military. Why is that important? Well, I teach at the college level, so it's important because I want our students to be able to read, write, and do what we call the basic arithmetic. But
Yes.
beyond that, we need to teach our students about budgeting and investing, about managing your lives as well as your emotions, which you mentioned in your sermonette, I would call it. But we need to teach our students about those things. And we have a very heavy military base here, here in Mansfield ISD. My husband is former military. He's a law enforcement officer. So I'm very big on that. I know a lot of our students sign up to go to the military. That's commendable. In
Mhm.
addition to that, I'd love to see that our students at least get one certification. At Ben Barber, we have many certifications that allows them options. Do I want to go to college, or do I want to start my career? with this certification? Do I want to go to the military with this certification and do something in the military that will catapult me into a career that I am very successful at, but pleased with because I began it when I was in high school? And then my third platform is accountability. That's where the two of us met, and we are now holding each other accountable to live in our purpose. That's what you're doing today. That means we as educators with our students, as well as with parents, we forge an alliance that is unbreakable, and we're able to help and support our students to succeed academically, personally, and in their next steps. That's my platform.
It does take a village to make this work. It does
Yes,
take
it
a
does.
village to make this work. I love all the points that you've made, but most importantly, I love the fact that you're pushing to have our students empowered on their way to college. You know, the gap between high school and college and where kids are trying to decide where to go. One of the things that I hugely advocated for while I was an educator is we are doing these kids a disservice. We are just training them to the test. And once we feel like they have passed or checked the box, we move them along. And these children are ill equipped to function in society. They don't
Right.
even know how to determine what career path they need to go because they don't even know what it is they are good at.
You know, Dr.
All they
OJ,
know is they can do right. You know, they take a test and we tell them, oh, you're on
right.
grade level and you exceeded expectation. What does that even mean?
Right, right. You're making an excellent point. What we like to do here, and what I am as a proponent for, is that we are going to impart in our students' lives and identify where they do have those gifts and talents. Like you said, in your community, in your area, people knew you had the gift of gab. So what teachers usually do is say, hey, you're great at mathematics. Oh my gosh, you have a gift for this. I need you to tutor. And so in that classroom, students are already honing their skills and becoming experts in a certain at a particular level in a certain
Yeah.
skill. So what I'd like to say is in MISD, we have to continue to impart and give teachers the opportunity and the resources so they can identify where our students are very gifted, where our students have opportunities to succeed in the next step. Not just get to the next step and then you start thriving, but you're already working in that capacity, at least to some degree, while we're in MISD. You're on point with that because our students need to know and be confident and empowered to know that you will do well and excel in your next step. And
Yes.
we at MISC, that's what we want to do. We want to identify those things. Are you a great speaker? Then excellent. Are you a great person at solving problems? Then wonderful. Are you a great critical thinker? Excellent. Then we need to pinpoint those things and then direct our students and just kind of guide them with that accountability to help them in those areas.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I remember when I was teaching at Dallas ISD, I was at Long Middle School and I was a science teacher, but I identified a gap. We didn't have a debate team or club or whatever. And I went to the principal. I was like, because of course that's what I do. I like to talk. And I was
That's
like,
right.
I'd like to start the debate team. And they're like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, because I see a lot of my kids, like, I feel like these kids have the gift and the ability to communicate and to learn to communicate better. It's really going to help. And guess what? We started the team. I started the team and they gave me another teacher to support. But of course, if it's not their own pet project, usually you still have to carry the bulk of the load. But for the first year, we won best in district. And it was
Awesome.
amazing. I was like, wow, we did that. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. But I was there for about another 2 years or so before I kind of moved on to entrepreneurship. But I was really proud of the fact that that program was established and the kids had that enrichment for them to really
Mhm.
express themselves. Because when you have a kid in class who's always trying to argue with you, okay, you're gonna be on the debate team. They're like,
That's
no, I'm
right.
not. I'm like, no, you're gonna be on the
That's
debate
right.
team. Like,
That's right.
let's put that skill to work. Let's hone it. Let's make it better. And that's what educator means. It's not just teaching to the test and teaching from a textbook and
Absolutely.
meeting a quota. So we need to do better by our kids. And honestly, the way the world is going, Dr. Reed, if something is not done to really improve upon the process with which education is being conducted, it's
Yeah.
going to become obsolete.
Yes.
A lot of
Antiquated.
parents like myself, yes, even me as a PhD holder, I am of the school of thought that if my kids came to me and said, Mom, I think I want to explore other options, I'm like, okay, what are those other options? Because
Yes.
I understand beyond the academia that there is more to someone being
That's right.
successful in life than what they get to learn in school.
That's absolutely correct. And we here at MISD, we do encourage students to do that. I mentioned Ben Barber, but we have so many other programs at Jerry Knight, the STEM programs we have all across the district. And then students and their parents or guardians are empowered to choose the schools that best fit their interests and their passions. What you talked about in that classroom in DISD was that your passion met your purpose, and then students were able to be impacted by you and learn that they too have a passion, that,
Mhm.
oh, being argumentative can serve me well. Yes, it can. And
Yeah.
you can find an area. I guarantee you have some of those students that you taught in that debate, on that debate team, they're probably doctors and lawyers now, or they're
Oh, yeah.
advocates to some degree, because they discovered that you were passionate about it and you were able to impart in them something and sparked this interest. So with choice schools here at MISD, students and their parents or guardians can choose the school that best serves them, their interests, their
Mhm.
the skills that they want to perfect. They can use those things. And then I always mention Ben Barber, but there are other places like Jerry
Mhm.
Knight. There are other, even Timberview has an academic program that we don't really talk about. It is an academic school. People don't like to believe that, but it is. But we have plenty of programs here. I love for our parents with their children to take a look at the different programs that are available so that we can guide them in the right direction and they can begin right here. Junior high school is fine. Elementary school. There
Yeah.
are things that we are doing. And I tell you, just like you, I had to get up and speak because they felt like I was great at speaking. I didn't think I'd get nervous. I was nervous for tonight, but my daughter said, "Do it nervous," like I tell her. So I'm here. The point is, when you identify that children are good or great at something,
Mhm.
they are excited. There's a fire that gets blazing within them, and they can't wait to do that thing over and over again. And as educators, that's what we do. And then we guide them and give them the resources and the opportunities so that they can build on that. It's like building an academic resume while
Yes,
you're in
ma'am.
school. And so when you build that academic resume, it builds something within you. And as I said, that passion meets that purpose, and you're on your way to do what it is that God has called you to do.
Definitely, Dr. Reed. So, Oprah says something. She says, every one of us have a need, and we all, on that cellular level as humans, this thing is unique to all of us. We all want to be seen, we all want to feel heard, and we
Yes,
all want to feel like we matter. So,
yes,
even as kids in the school system, they just want to feel like their voices are heard. They are part of the solution, they're part of the process. They don't just want to feel like you just put them in a classroom, tell them what to do. No, they are
right.
full formed human beings and they
Yes,
have a right to determine what really happens in their lives after a certain age, and they begin to advance with our support and our guardians. So
right.
that's one of the things that I feel like, the school is really failing our kids. And if we can start to right those wrongs by positioning the right people in the right places, put in
Yes,
people who have the right outlook, the right mindset. It's not all about the dollars. I know money matters. I know money is important for us to get all these things together, but sometimes we have to put humanity first. And that's what
yes.
I feel like you're trying to do, because when I read your mandate, I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. And I'm really excited for this run of elections for you, because like now it's like, okay, two elephants getting in the ring, like, but
Oh
look,
my. Yes,
guys, listen, everybody, tonight is omnipresent night. So wherever you're listening to me from, if you are in the Tarrant County Mansfield School District and you're able to vote, you need
yes,
to get out and vote for Dr. Benita Reed
yes,
for the
please.
Board of Trustees Mansfield School District, because we need to be able to put people in position who are going to fight for our kids, who are
Yes,
going to fight for the type of content that our kids are learning, who are going to be able to fight for there's so many things that are going wrong with the school system. There's so
yes,
many things that are going wrong. And that is because there's so many wrong people in those positions. There are too
yes.
many wrong people in those positions.
And
So we
that's why
need, Yes,
I'm so
ma'am.
sorry. I'm sorry,
No,
Dr.
no,
OJ.
please. We need to
I
hear
wanted,
from
I
you.
was just gonna,
Tell the people,
I
because
was
so
gonna
they know
mention,
why it's important for them to get out and vote.
yes, please get out and vote. One of the things now, one of my taglines is that I have no strings attached, and that is true. That means I don't have a political agenda. This is
Ah,
by law a bipartisan position. So
mhm.
it doesn't matter what side or what color you represent. The color that I represent is the color that will help our students to succeed. It has nothing to do with Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, moderate, nothing. I am here to be a servant and an advocate for our students and our parents and guardians, because we need someone who can speak to them and speak the language that education is revealing. Sometimes our parents are just unaware. So I have no political agenda. I am, meaning they're unaware of some of
No,
the things.
no, my mouth is dropping because Dr. Rick, you don't even understand how many parents I had to fight. When I was in the school, I was like, who told you that? Your child
Yeah,
can't learn? Who told you that?
that's
My
right.
child can't learn? I hear that, so I was like, but my child has, he has a, I'm like, who told you that? Who
That's
told you
right.
that lie?
That's why I said I taught special education students and
I used
even
to fight.
ED students,
I
and
used to
all
fight
of
so
them
hard for my kids.
excel. That's right. Students can and will learn. I always say this. If you set the expectation, students will it will exceed that expectation. They will do it gladly as long as you identify that you have the confidence in them and
Yes.
that you know that they can do it.
Mhm.
They will always exceed those expectations. All students can learn. So I'm here to be a servant and an advocate for those students and for the parents. I want to bridge those gaps. I am a unifier. We can do all things if we come together. If
Yes.
we are divided by party lines, then that divisiveness destroys the structure of education and what it was meant for. Public education is needed and necessary for our students, and for us at large in the MISD area or just in the world altogether. It is important that we realize that we have an education system established so that we can build those bridges, as you said, next steps, yes, but also we have a system where you go from elementary to intermediate. Those are steps that we're
Mhm.
bridging together so that our students don't go blindedly, but they go with an understanding, and they're
Yeah.
equipped to excel in those areas, in those grade levels. So I don't have any political agenda, no strings attached. I am simply doing this for our students. First of all, I'm all about, you're not in education for 32 years and you're not a proponent for students and people excelling. As I said, I've worked with seventh and eighth graders and then at the college level. And then even after I went to the college, I continued to work with seventh and eighth graders as we were developing their skills to pass the STAR test. So that means what? I have a passion to see our students, to see them do well, to see the light bulb go off, to help them to understand that they are significant in our world. As you said, they have a voice. They want to be
Mhm.
heard.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
have to make certain that we continue to give them a platform where they can be heard. I am the right choice. I'm the right choice for place 3 for MISD, school board trustee. I am ready to do the work. I've been prepared for it. As you said, you put the pieces together for me this evening, Dr. OJ, that I did not realize it at the time, but I am prepared to do this. All of my life's work has been in education. So I am not here by happenstance. I'm here on purpose for such a time as this. And I'm
Yes.
grateful and honored to be able to do it. I say this humbly. I really do want people to get out and vote for Dr. Benita Reed for place 3 for MISD. It is important that we have someone in education right now. I still teach. About 3 weeks ago, we ended our semester. I'm still currently teaching at Tarrant County College. So I'm in the profession now. So I know what teachers are going through. I know how they feel. I know what we go to work early, we stay late, we bring work home. We're working. Sometimes I'm working early in the morning. My husband's like, babe, you need to get some rest. And he's right.
Mhm.
But we are fully committed to the development and to the growth of our students. And we don't want to let other colleagues down
Yes.
because we work together in a team. And that's the great thing about the board. I would be one of 7 and then 8th with the superintendent. So I'm ready and willing to work with a team of people who are passionate about our students. And I am definitely passionate about our students.
Yes, ma'am. We need to put someone at the table who is going to speak for the students and speak for the educators and the parents together, because sometimes it's hard to find that dynamic mix in one person. Sometimes some person is for the students and they don't really understand how to pull the educators in, because it takes a village. It takes everybody
Let's
working
do it.
together. And education, I've always said, cannot be political. It's
That's
very
right.
imperative that we do not make education a political
Say
agenda.
that one more time.
Education cannot be political,
That's
y'all.
right. That's right. There's no place for politics in
No, there's no
education.
place for
I've said this
politics.
before. Our children are
Yeah.
not red and blue.
No,
Our
they're not.
children are a gift to us,
Yes.
and we are stewards.
Hmm.
We've been given the gift to steward them through this life, and one part of it is education.
Education is a part of it.
Yes,
It's
and so that's why parents will partner with teachers to say, no, 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 we're gonna work on this. Let's set up a success plan. I
yeah.
still set up success plans for my students. I will still tell students that I see even now
Oh.
in my class, listen, I'd love to mentor you because you have great potential.
Hmm.
But I can see where you've given way to distractions.
Yeah.
So that's what students do with their teachers and then their parents. We forge um that triad successful formulation, and our students will not fall off. They will do
No,
well in school
they
and they will do
know.
well in their next steps.
Even my kids, they know at the beginning of the school, yeah, go to their teacher's class. I'm like, here's my cell phone number, my email. If he act a fool, if he act out of line, anything, call me, text me any time of the day. I will be here.
That's right. And then
And
you
I
make
have,
those pop-up visits, don't you?
girl, you
Yes,
already know. I,
ma'am.
I got some calls. I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. No worries. They know. I'm like, I'm that mom, right? My boy's like,
That's right.
I'm that mom, right? I'm going to show up in the middle of the day, in the
That's
middle of
right.
your classroom. I'm going to pull you by the ear out of the classroom, because you're
That's
not going
right.
to disrespect your teacher or
That's
disrupt
absolutely
instruction.
correct.
Oh, they know I'm that mother. I am that mother, and I own it.
Yes. Yes, I am too. I own that too. I'm not ashamed. I am proud to be that mother. And I have surrogate nieces and nephews that I will show up and do that. And I'll call your mother. I don't have a problem with that.
It
So
takes
yes, I am that. But I think our babies need that.
They do. It takes a
They need that
village.
support.
It takes a village. This is the old school type of raising children. It's not the society where everyone is easily offended. You can't talk to this. No, it
Right.
takes a village.
It
Like
does.
sometimes the other day, my son's teacher was like, well, he did this. I made him run a lap. I said, how many laps did he run? She was like, 2 laps. I said, you should have made him run 5. Like 5, yeah, 5 would have done it, because she was
You
like,
would
oh
have
no.
felt it
I
a
said,
little bit.
yes. I said, yes, let him do 5, because he's
Yeah.
not going to forget.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
old school. We used to do that when I was in school. Yeah, okay. Well, okay, Reed, let's go ahead and run those laps.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, Dr. Benito Reed. I'm so excited to have you out here tonight. Guys, listen, if you didn't catch anything tonight from our conversation, catch this. Education is important. Our children's lives are on the line. What's the shooting that happens in the school, the one in Texas, the most recent one?
At
The
Rob
one,
Elementary,
yes, the one that happened in what's it called? The Reed
Uvalde.
Elementary. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I wrote it down. Yes, because it was just something that meant so much to
Not
me.
too far from here, not too far, outside of San Antonio,
Yes,
Uvalde, Texas.
Rob
Very, very
Elementary
unfortunate.
shooting. It's too many school shootings that have happened this year, and if
Yes.
that hasn't taught us that we need to put very strong people in the position of authority to
Yes.
provide the right structures and systems and everything that we need to protect our children's lives, and not just their lives, but even
Yes.
their mind. Their mind is even the most at
Absolutely.
risk, because whoever that 18-year-old boy shooting up
Mhm.
a school, what happened to his mind? What happened to his mind? Who messed up that boy's mind to the point where now he feels, or he's okay with doing and committing such a heinous crime and
Yes.
taking over 21 people with him?
Yes.
So it's just an unfortunate situation. We need to
Very
safeguard the
unfortunate.
minds of our children.
Yes.
And that is why we need to elect the right officials. It's part of
Yes.
the process.
Just to put a pause in it, let's make certain that I know you're doing this, Dr. OJ. Let's continue to keep Uvalde, Texas, and
Yes,
the educators, the students, the families, the
in
parents,
prayer.
Yes, in from Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas, in our prayers. They need that, and it does tell us that we need to revisit some things in terms of school safety. And I'm
Yes.
certain that my husband, as I said, he's in law enforcement, has been in law enforcement for almost 30 years. So we've been talking about some things in terms of law enforcement and training and different practices that could be put in place, forging another triad union where
Yes.
you have security officers and then you have law enforcement officers as well as teachers, because teachers are on the front lines right there
Yeah.
with our students. And so there's some things that we can do in every school district to make certain, as you said, that our students are safe, they feel safe to learn and move around in an academic environment. Yes,
Yes,
I agree.
ma'am. Thank you so much. And definitely our prayers are still with Uvalde, Texas, Robb
Yes,
Elementary. We are super, super just praying for you guys and trusting that God will bring
yes,
healing and comfort into that community. Words
yes.
cannot express, the pain that we all feel as mothers, as parents, as educators, but
Right.
it's just what it is. And we learn from that situation to do better for the next school. So,
And we have to do better because we
yeah,
will be honoring them.
yes,
Their
yes,
lives will not be in vain because
it will
we're
not
going
be.
to honor them. Yes.
Yes, those poor babies. It will not be, it cannot be in vain. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Dr. Reed. It's been an amazing time spending time with you tonight. So,
Thank
guys,
you, Dr.
listen,
OJ.
everyone go connect with Dr. Reed on Instagram and Facebook. It's
Yes.
Dr. Reed for MISD on
Yes.
Instagram. Yes, it's Dr. Reed for MISD FORMISD on Instagram. You go follow her journey, follow her campaign. Connect with her, send her a DM and
Please.
let her know what your thoughts are. Give her some ideas. What are your suggestions? I mean,
Yes, I would love that. I
she's
would love that.
yes, yes, yes. So she's giving you guys permission to get in her DMs
Yeah.
and just connect with her and just help her do this work. But you know what I'm excited for, Dr. Reed?
Yes, ma'am.
A celebration interview. I am speaking that into existence
I
because
receive it.
when you win after June
Yes.
the 18th, we're gonna be back
Yes.
here on Dr. OJ Speaks, and it's gonna pew 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 pew
Boop,
pew.
boop, boop, boop,
We're
pow,
gonna be
pow, pow.
celebrating,
Look at us making
celebrating.
sounds.
Oh my god, it's
Yes.
gonna be a lot of fun. I get so animated like a little baby, y'all, because I
I
get
do
to
too. I
I
do
am
too.
excited about life because we are alive. We get to
Amen.
live. We get to do the things that we set out to do.
That's
It's
right.
a privilege. You cannot take it for granted that you get to do the things that you set out to do. So
That's
I
right.
just want to remind you guys, remember today, it's all about intentional living. We
Yes.
are intentional out here in these streets
That's
because
right.
clock's ticking, y'all. You don't know tomorrow who's next. We're gonna wake up tomorrow, and by the time we wake up tomorrow, statistics and data shows 79,000 people will be gone.
Wow.
Yes, they'll be gone. They're not going to be here anymore. Like, it's just a fact. Like, by the time we wake up tomorrow, we are going to have short of 80,000 people who have departed this earth and just
My God.
transitioned on over. Now,
Wow.
if you don't make the cut and you still are here tomorrow, I want you to just be intentional about your life because
Yes.
your life means something. It
That's
means
right.
something to God to put you here and say, you make it, you get to be here, you go do such and such and such and such. I don't know what your such and such is, but I know what mine is. Dr.
Right.
Reed knows what hers is, and she's about
Yes.
that business. So you got to be about your business because we're not promised tomorrow. And you don't want to get to the end of your life and you're like, what are you really going to account for? How much money
Right.
you made?
Yeah. Live your life with no regrets.
Yes, but what's really going to matter is like, what are people going to say about you?
Yeah.
How many lives have you touched? What did your life really count for? What did it really count for? That's a very critical question. And if you sleep and resonate on that tonight, I promise you, God is going to wake you up in the morning with something critical for you to do. If
That's
you
right.
still haven't figured it out.
That's
Guys,
right.
listen, it's been an amazing night. Y'all know I can go on and on, but today's Wednesday night, and we are done with our Wednesday night live with Dr. OJ and Dr. Reed. Dr. OJ, Dr. Reed, super
Yay.
excited. Thank you, Dr. Reed. I wish you
Thank
the
you.
absolute best at the polls.
Thank you.
Godspeed. And we taking
Thank you.
place 3 for
Phase
MISD.
3.
in 2022 for
Yes,
Dr.
let me
Reed.
remind people, please
do.
vote early. Let's vote. Plan to vote the first 2 or 3 days. June 6th through the 14th is early voting. And then June 18th, which is also my anniversary with my husband, that is election day. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm asking you humbly.
Where do they vote?
Vote
Where?
for Dr. Benita Reed. You
Where
can
can they
vote.
vote?
We have here in MISD in the area, Mansfield, the courthouse on
Okay.
Broad Street. We also
Broad.
have Newsom, TCC for early voting.
Yes.
But you can check your local listings to find out, because we're still finding out where we can vote. We thought we would know about 2 weeks ago. It hasn't been revealed to us just yet, but there are early voting places as well as election day places.
Yes.
I will post that information out on my social media.
Please, you need to update, and if you have anything to update as far as those, please send it to me so I can blast it out.
Yes,
Please.
ma'am, I will.
Send it to me so I can blast it out. So, guys, early voting June 3rd and 4th, and then once we
June
get
6th through the 14th.
Oh, June 6th through the 14th.
That's Monday. Monday.
Oh, that's next week,
So
Monday through the 14th.
That's Monday. Yes. So let's plan to vote Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's get out and vote early. Be intentional about voting. Be intentional about voting for Dr. Benita Reed.
And once I get to the polls and I do my ballot and stuff, I'm gonna take my picture with my sticky and I'm gonna post it on social media.
Send it to me.
I voted for Dr. Reed for place 3, y'all. We trying to take this run up to the house.
That's
it. Bring it home. So that's what we're gonna do, guys. So let's all make this happen. Let's bring this home for Dr. Reed, but not just for Dr. Reed, for all our families, our children, for Mansfield ISD. Let's make it better. Let's make it great. Not again, but just greater than what it is right now.
Yes. And make certain if you are paying MISD taxes, you can vote.
Yes.
Because it's across 94 square miles. I'm paying the...
So we're gonna take those taxes to the polls on the 6th, y'all. Let's go. Let's go vote. Let's do it. Let's go exercise our tax rights.
That's right. That's right.
Our tax rights. We're paying them taxes. We're gonna vote for who we want in office. Thank you so much, Dr. Reed. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm so honored to be here with you, Dr. OJ, and all of your fans and your friends. I'm honored to be here with Dr. OJ and all of you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Godspeed. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you, Dr. Reed. It's been an absolute pleasure. Have a wonderful night, ma'am. God bless you. All right, everyone has been great tonight. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to go through the names real quick before we start rounding up for tonight. And Tyson, Jay Reed, thank you. Always Paulette, thank you for the comments. Queen Nick, Queen Each, Amazing Luxury, Lisa Witt, Dr. Shaladi, oh my God, Adrian, DMG Work, Pretty Pete, hey, I am Eniola, oh my goodness, Omenet Johnson, so many wonderful people. TikTok, Johnson Reach, thank you so much, Pavlov. Everyone out there watching tonight, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, you all are awesome. Thank you for making tonight's show another amazing, huge success. Until next week, I will be back once again to bring you another amazing episode of Wednesday Night Live with Dr. OJ with another fabulous guest, of course. But don't forget, be intentional. Live your best and highest self every single day. Use your gifts for service and just be great, because there's greatness within you. I love you. Have a wonderful night. God bless.
She's old, So many of us got what to say, but we don't have the means, but we can listen, Things that we sharpen